Jeremy Corbell doubles down on the 29 Palms UFO incident. Okay, this is really interesting, and he has some good points, so let's talk about it. Get in here, this is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, so yesterday I made a couple of videos about the 29 Palms incident, and this is, of course, something that Jeremy Corbell released on his podcast with George Knapp, Weaponized. And he apparently has been researching this incident for a couple of years and gathering information and videos, and he is positive that these are not flares. But, of course, Mick West and others instantly chimed in saying it was flares, and they had some pretty convincing evidence. The Black Vault clearly showed how there were flares in that area during a training exercise, and those flares match up pretty well with those lights in the sky that the Marines were seeing. So, here is what Jeremy had to say in response to that.
And we're trying to identify something that happened over a military base with a lot of military service members all around. We reached out to the Pentagon. I know the Marine that you spoke to said that they ruled out flares, but the Pentagon tells us that there was an airspace tactics and instructor course happening around the same time, and there's video of that training. I think we have some of that video that has been declassified. You can see choppers through night vision. You can see tracer fire. You can see flares. And then right at the end, there are a couple of seconds showing something that's it's kind of in a similar shape to that triangle. Do you think that that could be the same thing? Some of this exercise that you're seeing right here, those appear to be flares, kind of in a triangle shape. Do you think that that could be what these Marines saw?
Yeah, so that's the question is, were these flares? The problem is the duration, and all of the witnesses that saw the body of a triangular shaped craft. So initially that was my thought, but over these years from working with people, they saw the craft itself, the body of it, and that's what you see in that low light video. Now, I don't know, it's a huge base. It's almost 1,000 miles wide. So showing me a video, we need to know if it identically matches up to the time. Look, I'm trying to solve the case too, but I can't discount the Marines that are telling me they saw the craft.
One of the interesting things about this case is, so that is declassified video that we're seeing right now of the training exercise. The Pentagon says that they had no report of U.A.P. activity, and there is a procedure now for U.A.Ps to be reported all the way up to the Pentagon. They're saying that there were no reports given. Is that what you're hearing from the Marines? Did they ever try to file a report with the government?
Yeah, so that was the problem. We weren't getting information. Now, we've seen that over and over and over. Remember, the 2004 Tic Tac event, that UFO event was during a training exercise. The 2019 UAPs were during a training exercise. There's always training going on there at that base. So that's what we're trying to get, is better transparency to move that information up and better reporting process. People should not have to be calling journalists. They should be reporting it through the normal chain of command, but that is not happening.
Jeremy definitely seems to be on the defensive. You can tell that the negativity of yesterday has really gotten to him and bothered him, and he is definitely on defense here, and I feel for him. Anybody can get a story wrong, but to be hammered like he was and to have his reputation called into question has, in my mind, clearly shaken him. And I understand and I sympathize with him. I applaud him for bringing us this story, whether it was real or not. People do need to be reporting on these incidents. If, 50 military guys or whatever contacted me, say they had seen a UFO with a bunch of separate video cameras, I would tend to believe them. So, and that's the thing. These military guys were saying that they saw the craft itself. They saw the shape of the craft, and they saw it vanished when they launched their own flares to get a better visual of it. And they said, they were saying during the incident that it wasn't flares. Here's what they had to say about that.
Those are not aluminum rounds, because aluminum rounds fall. Yeah. And nobody shoots in a 5-gun section. There's more lights around it.
So
Yo, this is fucking weird.
We got UFOs out.
So were the military guys just playing a hoax on Jeremy? Were they acting when they were, saying these weren't flares? It's a big leap for me to think that they were acting, because they went to the trouble of launching their own flares to illuminate this object, and they maintained this hoax for 2 years. That's a long time for some servicemen to be pulling a gag on Jeremy, unless this was some sort of, agenda that they were playing out from somebody. If somebody told them to do this, to spread disinformation or to cast a shadow on Jeremy Corbell's reputation, that could be a possibility. Now, could the servicemen simply have been wrong about what they were seeing? They saw some lights in the sky, and maybe they thought they saw a shape that those lights belonged to, but they really didn't. And so they weren't deceiving Jeremy intentionally. They had let their own imaginations run away, or they were, just misinterpreted what they were seeing, and that's what they reported to Jeremy. That, too, is completely possible. However, the fact that it vanished from sight when their own flares descended toward it seems pretty hard to be an illusory, sighting. If that happened, if those lights vanished when the flares went toward it, I don't think they could have simply imagined that. So that would have had to be part of the hoax in my mind. In my mind, I don't see any other options. Either the soldiers were complicit, whether it was their idea or directed from above, or else this was a genuine sighting. At the moment, I'm on the fence about which one it could possibly be. Jeremy does have a really good point, though, in that there is a history of UFOs showing up during training exercises, going back to the Nimitz encounter and probably before. So that does seem to establish a repeated pattern of behavior from these objects. So, that was a really good point, that these things do tend to show up in training exercises, and that is consistent. That is a consistent pattern of behavior. But again, I'm still on the fence about this one. When I see those flares and how they line, the actual flares that we know were there, and how they line up so well with these objects, it's really, that's some compelling and almost conclusive evidence right there. So, I really don't know what to make of this story, but 2 years is a long time for some soldiers to play a gag on Jeremy. Hey, we're going to pretend these flares are a UFO, and we're going to call up the local UFO guy and say that we got a UFO. And, we'll watch him run and chase his tail. I don't see them maintaining that for 2 years. I really don't. So, either they're, maybe directed from above from somebody to discredit Jeremy, or the servicemen didn't see what they thought they were seeing. However, even then, that doesn't really make any sense because of the object vanishing when the flares reached it, according to them. So, I don't know, guys. I'm on the fence. Yesterday, I was beginning to lean in the direction of this being all flares, and for this sighting to be officially debunked. But now I'm leaning back more in the center. I really don't know what to make of it. I would love to hear your thoughts. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this 29 Palms sighting and what the heck was going on there. But I don't hold anything against Jeremy if this does turn out to be a hoax or something else going on. So let me know your thoughts. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate that. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and the bell to be notified of future videos. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there, of course. And there's plenty of other videos on this channel for you to check out in the meantime. Until next time, this is Jack with Cosmic Roads signing out.